Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something that can completely change the way that small businesses handle their calls and leads. Recently, a plumber came over to fix something at my place and his phone kept ringing nonstop. So I talked with him about it and it turns out that most of the calls aren't really important. Half of them are from outside his service area and the rest are simply repetitive questions that he has already answered 100 of times. So there are only a few amount of them that are actually leads. And that's when I realized that he's actually losing money because he can't keep up with all of these calls. And I bet many businesses face the exact same issue. The solution is an AI voice agent that can answer calls, ask the right questions, gather key infos like the caller's name, email, and job type, and then send everything straight to your inbox. No more missed calls and no more wasted time. This AI also works 24/7, so you will never miss a call or an opportunity ever again. Let me show you how this works.
Hi there, this is Taylor from Quick Fix Experts. Who am I speaking with today?
Hi, you're speaking with Donna.
Thank you, Donna. Could you please provide the neighborhood of the property that needs maintenance?
Is in North Beach.
Thank you, Donna. We do cover the North Beach neighborhood. Could you please provide the full address of the property that needs maintenance?
Yeah, so it's 5 Beach Road in North Beach.
Got it, Donna. 5 Beach Road, North Beach. Now, could you describe the issue you're experiencing in as much detail as possible? The more information you can provide, the better we can assist you.
The sink is broken in my kitchen and it's leaking as well, so I would like you to come and fix it.
Thank you for letting me know. To ensure we can assist you promptly, could you let me know your preferred way of being contacted?
My phone number.
Is your phone number the same as the one you're calling from? 6149328.
Yeah, that's correct. It's that one.
Someone from our team will contact you shortly on your phone number to assist with your kitchen sink issue.
As you can see now, it sent an email to Lily Drain, which is the plumber, and it gave all of the different information that the user gave on the phone. So the address, the issue at the property, and also the phone number. If the person asked to be contacted by email, it will also add the email address of the client right here at the top as CC. If you're new here to the channel, my name is Donna and I'm building AI voice agents, AI text agents, and AI automations for small and medium-sized businesses. I've got a school community that you can join that has more than 1,000 builders and where you can get access to all the templates from this video. If you want some more custom help, you can also book a free discovery call, link in the description. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of setting this up. So grab a coffee and let's start building this together. And to build this, there are multiple steps here. The first one is connecting a phone number to our AI phone agent platform, RetellAI. And for that, we can either use the phone number from RetellAI if you're in the US, but if you're not, you can use Twilio and connect it with SIP trunking. Secondly, we have RetellAI where we build the voice agent. And for that, we're going to use the conversation flow, a recent feature that they released that is truly amazing. And finally, we will go through N8N to do all of the automation side of it, like sending emails. Before diving into RetellAI and N8N, let's have an overview of the entire system to know what is happening under the hood. So the first thing is we are using an inbound call webhook on N8N to be able to inject variable directly inside RetellAI. And these variables can be anything, but in our case, it's the phone number. And this allows the RetellAI agent later on to confirm the user's number. After we're doing this, the AI agent directly speaks and greet the caller. So that's like the first step. The next step is to ask for their name. After that, we are asking the neighborhood of the property that needs maintenance. And we have a list of all the different neighborhoods that are part of the service area that are covered by the tradie company. And if it is not in the list, then it will simply end the call by saying, sorry, we are not covering this area, and that's it. If it is in the list, then we will ask the user their preferred way of communication. If they are saying email, then we will go through the email path. If they are saying phone number, then we will go through the confirm phone number step. What happened after that is that there is an N8N webhook that gets triggered and that will receive the transcript and the different information from the call. And based from these informations, we are doing two things. The first thing is we are generating an email based on the transcript information using OpenAI, but you can use any other LLM. And then we are sending the email to the appropriate person. And we are also saving all of the phone call information on Airtable. So now that we saw a bit of how the whole flow is working, let's dive into RetellAI and more specifically the conversation flow, because that's what we are using. Quick interruption here. If you're serious about building AI voice agents, I have a special offer for you. I'm starting a live cohort course where I will teach you everything you need to know about building AI voice agents. And for 4 weeks, you will have 2 1.5-hour sessions every week and a 1-hour live Q&A. You will learn everything about setting up your own voice agents, integrating them with automation tools like Make or N8N, and also Airtable or Go High Level. During these 4 weeks, you will build 4 AI voice agents, and I will provide you with 5 full builds and N8N, Make, Airtable, and Go High Level blueprints that you can simply copy and replicate. The first one will start on February 12th, and there are only 2 spots left. There will be another cohort as well, but the price will likely increase. You can get more information in the link in the description of this video. Now let's get back into Retell. And the first step is to create that agent. So for that, you will click here on create an agent and you will select the conversation flow agent at the top. So I've already done that and I've already built it, and I will show you step by step what I've done there. So this is like the agent that I've built that follow exactly the same flow that we just talked about like a few seconds ago. And what you will have in this view is you basically have different type of nodes on the left. So on the left, you have conversation node, you have function node, call transfer, press digit, and ending. And they're pretty much like different actions that can happen. Most of the time you will be using conversation and function. If you use a call transfer, then it will automatically do a warm call transfer to someone else, like an actual human being, or to another AI voice agent if you want to make it fancy. On the top, you still have the exact same information as any other type of conversation. So if it's simple, single prompt or multi-prompt. And on the right, you have the global settings of the entire agent. And the first option we have on the right is the agent setting. So here you have the different parameters, like exactly the same as the other type of voice agents, which are the language, the person that is speaking, so the voice. You will also be able to write a global prompt. This is like the prompt for the entire agent. So it's less specific to like the specific steps that you need to do, because you don't need to add these steps anymore because you have the different flow, like the conversation flow that you can build. And then if you scroll down, you have the exact same kind of like items, which are knowledge base. So this is like where you set up a knowledge base, the speech setting. Then you have the call settings. So this is like the same, where you can add voicemail detection, for example, and end the call on silence after a certain time. So if here, for example, if the user doesn't speak for 10 minutes, there is an end of call. Actually, we should put this lower because we want it to be like maybe 30 seconds or something. And then the max call duration as well, which is 1 hour. So we can restrict this to maybe 6 minutes, and the pause before speaking. Then you have everything about post-call analysis. So like these are all of the different variables that you are extracting from the call. In our case, we will just use the transcript directly on our automation on N8N. So we don't need that, but you can add all of the parameters that I will add in there. Then you have security settings, and finally webhook settings. So if we go back to our first node, here you will add either a prompt or a static sentence. And this allows you to really get into like a specific flow and really like lead the conversation and really make it less kind of like random. So this is what you would want to use when you want the conversation to follow a certain script. Here we say prompt, but you can also say static sentence. So if you say prompt, it will say a sentence depending on the prompt that you write right here. If you say static sentence, then it will just spit out the sentence. And the magic of it is you can add some different parameters right here. The first parameter is skip response. And this one is like basically if you want to build a conversation, like a flow that would just flow this way and then flow out. So you're not really expecting any user response if you enable that option. The second one is global node, and this allows you to be able to jump to that specific node without like going through the nodes before. So in our case here, we don't really need that, but that's also pretty useful sometimes. The next one is to block interruptions, and this one is like where the user basically cannot interrupt the AI while the AI is speaking. This can be good, but sometimes you want the person to be able to like stop the AI as well. In our case, when we start like in this welcome node, we don't really need the user to be able to interrupt the AI, so we just select that option. Then the next one, which is truly amazing, is that you can select different LLM depending on what is going on. So for example, if you wanted to be more talkative, you could switch to Claude. Or if you want to spend less token, like in our case right here, for example, we don't really need like any kind of complex things because we're just asking for the name of the person. So in that case, we could use GPT-4o Mini to save on costs. The next thing that you can do is fine-tuning that specific node. And this is truly amazing because this really helps you solidify the entire conversation and the entire voice agent output. And what you're going to do here is basically you're going to click on add, and then you can add two types of fine-tuning. The first fine-tuning would be to fine-tune the conversation. And here you can say what is the user saying, what is the agent saying, and you can even add more. So you can add another user speech or even the function execution if you want to tell it that this is the time where you need to execute a function. The second type of fine-tuning is to fine-tune a transition. And what that does is like here, as you can see, there is like two types of transition that lead to two different paths. So every time, like when you click on the like little circle right here, you can directly connect to a specific node. And this is like how you handle the different transitions between. What I want to do right here, for example, is that when the user's name is not common or is not simple, I want the AI agent to ask the person to spell their name. So I'm sure that the name is spelled correctly. If the user's name is short, common, and straightforward in spelling, like Tom, Anna, well, in my case, Donna, but it's kind of like tricky with that one. But like if it's short and straightforward in spelling, then it will go somewhere else. So in our case, if you can see it here, if I select the first option, which is if your username is not common, then we go directly here to the spell out their name. And what we get here is like to confirm the user's name with them by spelling it out character by character. If the user indicates that the name is incorrect, ask for the name again and spell it out to reconfirm with the user. If it's like if the name is short and common, then I will directly go to the ask the neighborhood of the property conversation node, right? So this is how you do different type of transitions to go to different stages, and you basically build out like a whole conversation flow. What you can do then after you've done that linking is that you can go here and fine tune the examples. And here's like where you would say, for example, here, if the user says my name is John, you want to redirect them to the ask for the neighborhood of the property. But if they say something like my name is Sarah, that's exactly the same. You're speaking with Patrick, again, that's like where you would go. But if you say something like you're speaking with Utkarsh, for example, which is not a like common name, then it will go to the step to spell out their name. And that's where like you will go directly to that specific node. And the last one was also with my name. So if I say I am Donatien, then it will directly go to like spell out their name again. So this is like where you give examples so that you can fine tune the node and fine tune the transition so that the AI agent knows where to go. And this is basically it with conversation flow, because here you will simply say where to go. And then on the next one, you will say neighborhood verification, and then you will say the prompt. So here you will say, for example, ask the user for the neighborhood of the property that requires maintenance. Then you will say, could you please provide the neighborhood of the property that needs maintenance? And here is like where you do validation and format. So here you say the user must provide an exact match to a neighborhood from the defined list. Do not show the list to the user, only verify their response internally. If the response does not match exactly, ask again until the user provides a valid neighborhood name. The list format is strict. Each neighborhood must be checked against the following structure. And here you add all of the different lists of all of the different neighborhoods. And then it's kind of like similar again with a different transition. So here I will say if the neighborhood is part of our covered area. And here I will say if the neighborhood is not part of our covered area. And this here will be doing again the different fine-tuning examples. So the first fine-tuning example is that if I say the property is in North Beach, then it will go directly and ask for the address of the property. The second one would be, for example, if the user said the property is in Melbourne, Then it will say, I'm sorry, but we are currently only providing services in specific neighborhoods and Melbourne is not part of them. And then we will select the node, which will be here conversation. It's not really good name, I have to admit. But conversation is basically this one, where you explain to the user that we are sorry, but we do not provide any services in that area. And this is like an example. So I'm really sorry, Donna, but we do not provide any services in Canberra right now. Have a great day. That's like where you basically exit the user, and then you can call the end of call the end of call node, which I used from here. So you can just drag it here directly and then connect it. The next step after that is to ask details about the issue. And this is here where I say, ask the user to describe the issue with as much detail as possible. Keep asking if the caller has more details to provide about the issue until they have shared everything. So do you have any other details that you would like to share? Then you say here in the transition, got some detail about the issue or the user cannot provide more detail. After that, it's again the next step, which is to ask the preferred contact method. And here you will ask if the user prefers to be contacted by email or by phone number. And now that you have been following up until here, I have actual rewards for you, is that I will tell you how you can get the user to spell out their email in the most efficient ways. Because I know that there are issues, there are a lot of issues, there are a lot of people having issues with getting the user to speak out their email on the phone and the AI agent not being able to spell it out correctly. And I found a workaround for that. The workaround is to ask the user to spell their email address and add this following prompt. So ask user to spell their email address. Before listening to the user, you will take a breath and let them speak. So this allows the AI agent to be a bit smarter. I'm not sure why, but it turned out that it's working. Then I say you will not interrupt the speaker while they're talking, and you will pay attention that 0 and O are properly handled. So there's like a couple of issues with 0 and O. That's why I added that part. And then I say that you will ask the user to use the NATO phonetic alphabet and spell like A like alpha, B like Bravo, C like Charlie, and so on. And for numbers, you will mention the number X like the number 5. And for symbols, you will say symbol X, like symbol hyphen, for example. So it could be like D like data, O like origin, N like new, A like agent, number 0, number 6, symbol hyphen. I mean, you kind of got it, right? And if the users speak that way, then the AI agent will be able to understand from the first time the email. I can guarantee you, I spent like multiple hours trying it out for a client, and it finally worked like that the best way. So this is like the next step after asking for email. It will spell out the email. So it will use this different symbols and the characters and all of that. And that's like something that has been working. So like when the AI agent would speak exactly the same again. If the user said that the preferred way of speaking is on the phone, then it will ask if the user wants to be contacted on the same phone number that they are calling from. And this right here is how I passed in the phone number. So we're going to go into N8N later on. But basically you can use variables like this and then use the inbound webhook node to directly inject all of these different variables. So here I have the phone number, and that's how the AI agent knows about the phone number, because otherwise it wouldn't know about it. And here that's when it says the callers say that the phone number is different than in phone number and spells it. So in that case, we go and we kind of confirm the phone number. So we spell it out number by number. And if it's the same, then we go to the final assistant stage. This is like the last stage where we are basically saying that someone from our team is going to contact them back and inquire if they have any further questions or need additional assistance. So for example, is there anything else I can assist you with today? You will also tell them how they will be contacted, either by phone or by email. And then after that, we end the call politely and we end the call. And we're pretty much done with the RetellAI part. So like this is like all of the part that you will need to build on RetellAI using Conversation Flow. I have to say Conversation Flow really simplifies everything, because just by looking like here, you can see what's happening. It's still in beta, but I can see that a couple of bugs happened before and they are getting fixed. So it's definitely the way to move forward. And it's really intuitive because you can directly connect the different nodes, add some fine-tuning examples. And yeah, I really love that feature. Now, the next step is to go through N8N. And the first step is this inbound webhook right here. So this is like an inbound webhook that is going to be called, which here is Taylor/inbound webhook. And that immediately you can respond with the webhook. And what you can do is you can directly respond with the phone number. And this is the phone number that can directly be used inside the conversation. So this is taken from the number from the inbound call that Retell is triggering. So like when someone call on the landline or on the phone for the phone agent, it will trigger that phone call, and then you can pass in variables directly to your voice agent this way. And then once you go in the general settings right here, the global settings, you will paste basically the URL that you get from here, right here. You will directly take this and paste that directly here. Then the next one is the agent level webhook URL, and this is the one that you will use for the end of call report. And I figure out that like there's a couple of things that people usually don't mention, but you need to check your API is called from your AI voice agent and not from any other person. And it basically helps you to filter out the calls that are only coming from your AI voice agent. And this is done by the Retell specific kind of like X Retell signature that you can take, and you can basically encrypt it with your API key from Retell and then check that the response is actually correct. After that, you can check for the call analyzed. So this is like where you will check that the body event is call analyzed and that it's actually the call analyzed hook and event that is triggered. After this happens, so if it's true, if the call is call analyzed, then what you want to do is you want to save on Airtable the different fields. So I have a database on Airtable that contains the call ID, the date, the duration, the cost, call ended reason, summary, transcript, and so on and so forth. And all of these different properties, you can extract them from the JSON that you get from RetellAI request. And then on the top, I have an edit field where I set up the recipient email. So this is like the email that will be received by the company. So this is like a generic email that you, for example, wants to send every time to the tradie company, for example, not necessarily like the plumbing or the specific company, but like the generic company that you want to send all of the email being like, hey, someone new called. And what you want to do is you want to CC that specific person. And this is what we are doing in these super big basic LLM chain, where I have a prompt that I will also copy and paste in the school community. So if you want to have access to it, you can go there. You will have access to everything else as well. And what this does is like, it says that your role is to extract information from the transcript of a call from one of our clients to our AI voice assistant regarding a maintenance issue and draft an email based on the provided email template. And then I say extract the following information from the transcript of the call. So the caller name, the property address, the maintenance issue, the details of the maintenance request, the caller preferred method of communication, and also the caller phone number. So here it will complete with whatever information it gets from the transcript. You can also use the post-call analysis right here to add the data, but sometimes I find it easier to directly add everything here. So if you want to change it, you can directly change it there. Or if your client wants to change it, you can directly go to the node right here and change it from here. So here you say, identify the relevant staff member responsible for addressing the maintenance issue. And this is like where I give the different names of the different people that are in the company. So for example, here you have Ben Current, the electrician. You have Lily Drain, the plumber. Mandy Moss, the mold specialist, and Tim Fix, the general fixer. So here, like, OpenAI is directly going to identify which one is the most kind of like suited to fix the problem that the user called. Here you can say if the caller did not specify a particular type of issues or if it falls outside the listed category, they can also use the generic office@company.com. Then the next step is to identify and summarize the topic and key points of the call such as the nature of the maintenance request, any specific questions or urgency conveyed by the tenant. Then after that, I will ask it to replace the placeholder in the provided email template with the extracted information. So the caller name, the property address, maintenance details, and so on. And then finally, it will output the following information inside the JSON format. And this is like, so I also have a couple of other specifics, but this basically here will output directly the response inside a JSON structure. And this is what I will use here again. So here I will say generate from JSON example, and I will say like the subject, the body, and the email to and the email CC. So this is like the two emails that you want to send the information to as well. And email CC is the email of the client that called on the phone that you will directly identify right here. Then once you have this, you can directly on the next node, on the Gmail node, you can directly identify the different variables. So in the to, you will select email to, and here you will put the email of the person you want to send an email to. Here you will put the subject, the body, and then also here you will put the different CC. So like this is like a pretty complex expressions. It's because sometimes the user will not provide their email on the phone because their preferred way of contact is phone. So in that case, it will simply not add a comma and just return empty string basically. And then it would add the second recipient email as well, which is the first email that I had. So if the user doesn't provide their email address, then it will send an email only to the plumber, for example, and then the plumber will have the phone number and will be able to call that person as well. If I go back inside the basic LLM chain, because I think I forgot something, here you also have the system prompt. So here you have the prompt of the email. So this is like the email that I want to send with different information right here to be replaced automatically. And also I have added the transcript as a system message as well. So this is like the entire transcript of the call, and this allows OpenAI to know to like execute this prompt based on the template and based on the transcript. And after that, the email is sent. Here we have a merge, so we are merging the two and waiting for these two to finish to then respond to the webhook and finally finish the flow. So this is like the N8N part, and also you have the Airtable part, which is pretty simple. So we have the call ID, the date, the duration, cost, call ended reason, summary, transcript, recording URL, direction, and then the two phone number to and from. So this is something that you can directly give to your client. And what you can also do is you can create an interface out of it, which directly give clients the access to that page right here where they can have each of the call that happened. They can also click and see all the different information from that call, such as the transcript, the call ended reason, the phone numbers, the summary, the duration, the cost, and everything. So this is what you will want to share with your client instead of sharing your RetellAI flow. You can directly share this Airtable interface. Remember that this AI voice agent isn't just about answering calls, it's about transforming how you do business. It's about reclaiming your time, never missing an opportunity, and scaling your operations without scaling your stress. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on more AI solutions for your business. And if you have any questions or ideas for future videos, drop them in the comment below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.